Hello and welcome to Real Talk, the show where we talk about all things film. I'm Jamal Nyes and today I'll be your host again, along with my bearded friend Morgan Robinson.
Hello everyone, glad to be back here. A lot of stuff's been happening recently. Obviously we're gearing up for a bit of an awards season as well, but there's some definitely big films out at the minute. I'm excited to talk about it.
I'm excited too, Morgan. Today we'll be talking about Justice League, recent news in the world of movies, and a preview for Thoroughbreds, which comes out next year. Now, without further ado, let's get into the first part of the show, the weekly rundown, Morgan. Now, Justice League, it is the biggest film out at the moment, and we seem to be the only guys in the minority that actually like DC films.
I mean, they've got their love of the DC Universe films, absolutely. What I really do like about them, though, at least up to this point, is the fact that they have been a lot darker than your average superhero film. I like my superhero films to be a bit different, and they have felt that. Justice League doesn't necessarily go along with that. I thought it was definitely a lot lighter. Some people would see that as a positive. I kind of saw that as a fault of the film, but I really did enjoy it.
Yeah, I have to agree. When you have a performance so badass that Ben Affleck did in Batman vs Superman, for him to be cracking jokes at unnecessary times of the film, the stakes were very high in this film, maybe higher than what were in Batman vs Superman. It seems that he was definitely held back. The uncertainty around Ben Affleck's future, I feel, can be seen in this performance.
I don't necessarily agree with that, to be honest. I do think Affleck is still quite badass in this, and I don't mind Batman cracking jokes every now and again. Leave that to The Flash, leave that to Ezra Miller, that's what he did.
I think he was a revelation in this film, The Flash. He's a character that hasn't been given any screen time in the DC Universe.
No,
he's got his own film coming out, I believe, in 2019.
Supposedly.
And that's definitely sold me on the character, and another character that has been given the spotlight in this film that we're both fans of, Aquaman.
Aquaman, yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Aquaman's solo film. I think I'm more excited for his solo film than I was to see him in Justice League, because James Wan's behind it. It's not had any problems that we've heard of, and that's been rare for the DC universe, really. But that is a finished film that is hopefully going to be a great one.
Yeah, it's definitely an exciting time to be a comic book fan, regardless if you were a fan of Batman vs Superman compared to Justice League. Now to a big comedy film, Daddy's Home 2.
Yes.
I know you're not the biggest Will Ferrell fan, Morgan, but come on, it's Christmas season. Mel Gibson's in it. It's a big cast.
Mel Gibson is in it, and regardless of what you think about Mel Gibson, I think, you know, he's started to come back into Hollywood.
Hacksaw Ridge, right?
He directed Hacksaw Ridge, which is great. But no, I'm not the biggest Will Ferrell fan. I haven't seen Daddy's Home 2. I don't necessarily want to, but that is completely my personal feelings towards Will Ferrell. I know he's a huge comedy star. He's so well loved. He's undeniably the biggest comedic star of his generation. It's just a personal opinion of mine, that.
Yeah, I agree with you that Will Ferrell is the biggest comedic star of this generation. I was slightly underwhelmed. Not slightly, I was very underwhelmed by Daddy's Home 1. The humour fell flat, it felt forced. I hope that maybe the addition of Mel Gibson, like you've said...
And John Lithgow's in it as well, he plays one of the fathers.
Exactly.
So he's got some comedic
new cast
in there.
additions might spice the film up. And if you're talking about the sort of camaraderie between Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell, that can be seen in The Other Guys, which is an underrated film within its own right.
They've definitely had it before. I expect they still show that in Daddy's Home 2.
I hope that it does sort of build on the original and surpass it, which isn't really hard to do in this case. But now to the news of the week, and there are some big ones this week. Mark the return of the Avengers with the much hyped about Infinity War. The trailer's finally dropped, Morgan.
The trailer has dropped. Whether it's already become the biggest viewed trailer or the most viewed trailer in history, in 24 hours, I think that it dropped on YouTube.
It's crazy.
I don't know how many hundreds of millions it's got, but a lot. It was a pretty insane trailer, to be honest. I don't know if you've watched it necessarily, because I know people don't necessarily like to watch huge trailers, but
Yeah, there was some definitely big moments in the trailer. We've got Spider-Man's new suit.
Spider-Man does have a new suit. That was cool.
Final unveiling of Thanos, which this whole cinematic arc has been built towards, played by Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin's got to be in the geek god territory for next year with his role as Thanos and Cable.
He certainly has. He's doing well for himself, Josh Brolin, when it comes to superhero films.
He's going to be making a lot of money, isn't he?
He is. And I really do like the way Thanos actually looks.
Yeah.
He's got some weird sort of discussion going around that he looks kind of weird compared to what he's looked like in end credit scenes in the past and that. But I kind of like him. He's not got that sort of gold helmet weird thing on.
Exactly.
But, you know, I do like the way Thanos looks.
And as a bearded man yourself, you've got to appreciate Captain America.
Certainly do. I certainly do. Well done, Chris Evans. That's all I can say.
Right, and now we have exclusive footage from a film that is set to release in March next year. Let's take a look at Thoroughbreds.
I didn't think you'd bring it here.
You want to hold it?
No, thanks.
Anyway, you cannot hesitate. The only thing worse than being incompetent, or being unkind, or being evil, is being indecisive.
Okay. Shall we?
What am I going to tell my dad?
Wear a hat. We're keeping this, by the way.
So Thoroughbreds follows two childhood friends rekindling their friendship after a long absence apart, and madness ensues. That kind of sounds like our friendship, doesn't it, Morgan?
Yes, it does. We're now doing this. Look at us.
Exactly.
But yeah, Thoroughbreds, it looks great. I'm really, really excited for this. Anya Taylor-Joy, Olivia Cook, both of those two I'm such fans of, especially Anya, being the big genre fan that I am. She's the best thing that's happening to genre films right now. Olivia Cook as well, though, wonderfully talented actress, and Anton Yelchin in what must be one of his last roles.
It's got to be, because he died last year.
Last year,
wasn't it? So this film had got to be wrapped by then.
Yeah, I mean, I would think so. I've not even heard necessarily a great deal about.
It's been very under the radar, this film, hasn't it?
I'm glad that I got the chance to watch the trailer because it looks really intriguing. I'm definitely going to go and check this out. I know it's the director's first feature film, and that's always fun. But yeah, it just looks really weird and interesting and a bit funny and dark as well. So
now, when you talk about Anya Taylor-Joy being a genre actor, what an amazing start to her acting career she has. The Witch, we're talking about, Split, its sequel Glass, and New Mutants. Not a bad portfolio at all, is it, Morgan?
Not at all, not at all, not at all. Big things are in Anya's future.
Yeah, exactly. And so we've just looked at a new flick for next year, and now it's the part of the show where we go back and appreciate the classics.
Yes.
What do you have for us this week, Morgan? And I'm guessing it is Christmas themed, isn't it?
It is certainly Christmas themed because it's December now and we should all be very Christmassy. So why not go and watch the best Christmas film of all time, 1946's It's a Wonderful Life, with Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed and Lionel Barrymore, directed by Frank Capra, who is one of my all-time favourite directors. I adore his films, to be honest. But It's a Wonderful Life, if you haven't watched it, and many people I feel like would have watched it because it's a very sort of family, sort of sit down with your family and watch film. But if you haven't, please do yourself a favour and watch it. It's so emotional. I can only end up watching it once a year just because it hits me so hard and it feels weird to not watch it in December anyway. But get a cup of tea, get some biscuits, get a family, get the fire on, and just watch It's a Wonderful Life. You'll all be in tears by the end, and I love that.
And maybe a bit closer to Christmas for me, Morgan, but at the moment I'm a bit of a Scrooge. I'm not ready to get quite in the Christmas spirit. So my pick this week is going to be Saturday Night Fever, one of the all-time classics, starring John Travolta. It's a star-making performance for him, playing Tony Manero, who's sort of a down-on-his-luck guy, working a 9-to-5 that he absolutely hates, living for the weekend, going out on Saturday night, dancing his night away to the Bee Gees.
Yes.
An amazing soundtrack from them. And I feel like this is overlooked by cinema goers as sort of a step up from the 70s, which it is not, is it, Morgan?
It is not at all, and it is looked at that from the outside by a lot of people because you just see John Travolta dancing to the Bee Gees and think that's the film.
Yeah.
It is absolutely not the film. It has got a lot of heart to it. It has got a lot of drama.
It's a hard-hitting film, isn't it?
It really, really is, yeah. You've got 2 hard-hitting films for your Blast Year Pass this week.
Exactly, yeah. If you're talking about a film that signifies the beauty of the city of New York and the trials and tribulations it is growing up in the suburbs around that.
It is.
I feel that film was the essence of the city during the 70s.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now it's time for the final part of the show, the sneak peek with myself and Real Talk's own Damien Pickett. To discuss the biggest films coming out this week. Damien, did you not get the smart dress code memo, brother?
No, I didn't get the memo. I didn't know I was going to be presenting this segment with Tom Ford, but you know what? I'm not disappointed in my peasant look. I'm proud of myself, actually.
I'm glad you're proud, Damien. The biggest film to start off this week is obviously David Gordon Green's Stronger, starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yep.
This seems like an award season contender early, doesn't it, Damien?
It does.
Jake Gyllenhaal, hopefully he's going to be in the running for Best Actor. I've not seen the film, but from what I've seen in the previews, it looks like it's going to be a killer performance from him. It delves into the life of Jeff Bowman, who was affected by the Boston bombings back in 2013. He lost both his limbs. It's an emotional journey into him getting over this horrific event, really, that so many people were affected of and that so many people around the world could connect with. It's about his physical rehabilitation and emotional rehabilitation, and it looks like a brilliant watch. Now, a stark contrast from that.
Very stark.
On the same day, we have the art connoisseur himself, James Franco, come in with The Disaster Artist.
Yeah, so The Disaster Artist is about Tommy Wiseau, the same man who made The Room, which isn't that great of a film. Right. It's about the behind-the-scenes story that has James Franco, Dave Franco, Zac Efron, Josh Hutcherson, so many people, including Seth Rogen, directed by James Franco. Looks like it's a fun movie with a light, warm touch to it that might make you sympathize with the tragic film that is The Room, but the filmmaker behind it, Tommy Wiseau, and it seems like a very exciting, funny story for, especially going to the holiday season. You might need a little bit of a light laugh.
It definitely seems like the type of film that could be like Marmite, though. You either love it or you hate it, as was with The Room. You know, it is art at the end of the day. So we also have the festive season is well and truly kicking off. We have a horror-themed Christmas movie.
That's what you think of when you think of Christmas. You think of the horror movie. Now, what is it called again?
Better Watch Out. Better Watch Out. It focuses on a teenager who's babysitting some young children, who is then faced with the proposition of someone breaking into the house, and she sort of has to fight this perpetrator. Now, I'm all down with that.
I'm cool with that, Jamal, but you have 2 weeks from now for a very, very special film. Before we end the whole Real Talk show for 2017, we have to talk about Star Wars Last Jedi coming out December 14th. I'm excited about it. We have Luke Skywalker, we got Rey, we got everyone coming back. How are you feeling about this?
I'm ready to cry right now. I'm so excited. The nerd tears are real, man. I watched the trailer of The Force Awakens the other day just to get back into the spirit of it. I've still not watched the trailer for Last Jedi.
Stay away from it.
It's been 2 years. I'm so close now.
Returning characters of Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, who I've missed so much. And I'm excited for it, man.
I still miss Han Solo, though.
Maybe a
flashback. Maybe a flashback.
Just anything.
But yeah, we will be back with the Star Wars episode of Real Talk. Me and Damien will be hopefully sharing our love for the film. I hope that it tops Blade Runner as my favourite film of the year so far.
If only.
Thanks to you guys again for watching this week's show. We will see you for episode 6 on the 18th of December. Thanks a lot, guys.